Okay, I want to help you improve your guard by strengthening your abs. Now, if you think about your guard position, okay, well, we're taking a basic guard, you're on your back, your legs are up. Whether somebody's between your closed guard or maybe you're playing an open guard, having the loose, flexible hips is what most people think is going to help you have a good guard. But when you're first starting out, you're a beginner. You can have loose hips, you can have tight hips, but if you're not strong enough to move your hips in the right direction or in the right ways, you're simply going to fail and get your guard passed over and over. Here's what I mean. Let's take a triangle choke, for example. So whether it's open guard or closed guard, I have to lift my hips up, right, to get the leg over the neck, the other leg crossed, and you see my butt, my hips coming up. That's about how strong you are muscularly. That has nothing to do with how flexible your hips are. So let's start from the basics. Let's get your abs strong enough that you're able to lift them into any type of ashy position. So maybe you're going for like a single leg X guard. You're pulling into the person's legs trying to get up. You're doing triangles. Or you're simply trying to keep your guard retention. The very first drill that I like to start people with is I get them laying on their back. And if you lay down with your legs up like this, if you create an arch in your back, you're going to have the opposite position of what's optimal for the guard. So I first get people to just press their lower back in and understand how to curl like a ball. Once they're in this position, their hips come up, their back rounds just a bit. You don't have to sit all the way up and put your head towards your knees. In fact, some people keep their back on the ground and just lift like this, getting the lower back pressed in, and you can see the hips and the legs come up. So just understanding how to round. Second, I start them rocking. So all they do is, this is great for kids, lift your hips up, lift your shoulders up. Hips up, shoulders up. When you can do this smooth, you're in the position of guard that you need to be in. You're not having your back be arched, you're rounding it instead. And this is going to give you the opportunity to get those triangles, arm locks, or whatever leg attacks you want. Once I get somebody rocking, then I add a little bit more motion. Normally, this is great with a partner. If somebody's standing, I have a partner standing in front of me, they walk around in a circle, and I rock and have my feet face them the entire time. Another great kids drill. I tell the kids, pretend like the bottoms of your feet, there are flashlights on them, and you have to keep your flashlights pointed at the partner walking around you. So if you can imagine somebody walking around me, I'm always having my flashlights point at them. And what does that mean? Anytime they come in, I'm able to defend myself with my guard. I can attack, I can sweep. I'm in a good defensive position, which you guys know as soon as they're past your feet, past the flashlights, you're not in a good position. So I get people learning how to round their back so they're able to lift the hips. I get them rocking. Third, I get them moving, normally following somebody, just like this. Now, those are all great exercises you can spend time in. If you want to make that even more advanced and more sport specific, you can do what's called a hollow rock. I'll show you in a second. You're rocking your entire body. I stole this directly from gymnastics. Gymnasts have incredible ab strength, and I would love to mimic that, and I try to in the gym as often as I can. So besides my jiu-jitsu training, I try to train in a lot of gymnastic type movements. Here's the hollow rock. Just like we did this rocking motion for the guard, you're going to start straightening out your legs. You're going to take your biceps, put them right to your ears, and you're going to rock from here. This is intense. I cannot arch my back and rock. I just don't move. I have to go round right here. This is another great just hold, just a hollow rock hold. Then you can start rocking. Shoulders, hips, shoulders, hips. And I'll tell you what, if you can do that for 30 seconds to a minute, man, you're going to be fried, but you're also strong enough to have a really good guard. Okay, let's talk a little bit of inverting. So I don't know if you invert your guard or not. You don't have to be super flexible. It helps. But I'm going to use this pole. Here's another drill. The prerequisite is those other drills I showed you working those lower abs. Now, from here, you can use a pole, you can use a wall. I just have a pole here handy. What I'm going to do is here's my guard position. Now again, to invert and go upside down, you still need your ab muscles, although I'm going to use my legs a little bit now too. So I'm going to show you a couple steps here. I'm going to take the leg that's closest to you is my left leg. I'm going to cross it on the other side of the pole. That's going to help drag me this direction, okay? So I'm not going to use my hands. I'm just going to use my foot, and I'm going to drag myself like this. Now to get upside down, you may want to use your hands a little bit at first just to get your hands on the pole and help get yourself in that position. But when I do this, I want to touch with my opposite foot. Now if this is a person, I'm trying to keep my feet between the guy and me, between my opponent and myself so they don't collapse on top of me. Now I did sort of a half inversion here. I am upside down, but now I take my same left foot, I recross it, and I drag myself back to the same position, okay? Again, you can use your hands on the pole, so when I cross my foot, I can also use my hand here and help pull myself into this position. Then, cross my foot, use my hand, push myself back. Another great drill to understand where to keep your feet between you and your opponent. After you do that, so I cross, up, I can keep rotating. I use my right leg now to help push off that pole. See how my hips are up? I'm using my leg muscles. I am squeezing my abs, but I'm working on my guard position. I can go the opposite way. So I'm going to go to my right now. I'm going to use my right leg. It crosses. As I go under, I lift my hips so more of my weight's up on my shoulders. Up, see up on my shoulders. Use my left leg to cross. Come back around. Now I'm kind of staying in place. You saw me moving a little bit. That was unintentional, but you can be intentional about it. So you can go all the way around an object and then come back. If you had a wall, you can go up and down doing laps on the wall. This is a great drill to get your body accustomed to keeping your feet between you, your opponent, and using your abs. All right, let's go to the gym for the next part. Okay, so here I am in my gym. We're gonna use some workout equipment. We're gonna use a dip bar, and I'm also gonna use a pull-up bar, and I'll show you in the next two segments here what I like to do. So if you're in a gym, you can also train for this, because I know if you wanna get better at jiu-jitsu, you're gonna probably adopt a healthy lifestyle and find yourself in the gym. So add these exercises to your repertoire. Okay, so it's impossible to get good at jiu-jitsu without doing jiu-jitsu, but chances are if you're doing jiu-jitsu, you want to be a better athlete and you're going to be going to the gym. So I picked a few of my favorite exercises to share with you to improve your strength for your lower abs, specifically to have a better guard. First one, you're just going to get into what's called a support position. So just use a standard dip bar or maybe even a set of rings. Rings are tough. And all you're going to do is you're going to first tilt your pelvis under. You're going to tuck it. So don't keep your chest open and arch your back. Do the exact opposite. Practice going tuck and just holding this. Just holding this position, you'll start to feel your abs should contract, and after 30 seconds to a minute, there'll be some burning. So just simply doing that tucking, like the previous exercises where we're rocking, is gonna go a long way. Second, after you've tucked your hips, you're gonna practice tucking your knees up. You can do it for reps, or you can simply hold the position. Again, 30 seconds is great, but remember the whole time you're taking your hips, instead of arching your back, you're tucking. So level one, you're just trying to master that tuck. Level two, you're gonna tuck your knees up. So again, repping out. Level three, if you can, you're gonna keep it tucked, your hips, straighten your legs, and do what's called a straddle. You can see this dip bar shaking behind me quite a bit, just because this takes a lot of effort to stabilize. So tucking your knees up to your chest. Second, you're gonna be doing a straddle. Third is gonna be a pike. And if you know anything about gymnastics, I took it directly from that. So these three exercises are done in gymnastics the whole time. Third one is the pike. So tuck, keep the leg straight, lift it, hip level is good. If you can go higher, great. If you can go above your head, you're killing it. So those three put together in a combination will kill your abs, give you a better guard, keep moving forward. If for some reason you don't have a dip bar to support yourself with, or you're just looking for variety, you can do these same three hanging from the pull-up bar. So you can take whatever grip you want. You're gonna first do the same thing where you're gonna master tucking. So as you hang, just practice tucking your hips. Then once you have that, you're gonna pull your knees up to your chest. If you can even pull them up to your elbows. But the whole point of this is we're keeping this tucked position the entire time. If you start arching, you're doing the opposite of strengthening your abs. After you can do the tuck, just like on the dip bar I showed you, we're gonna do what's called a straddle. So you're hanging, tuck your hips, legs will go straight. You've got a tuck with your knees or a straddle. Now you can go as high as you want with this too. You can almost completely invert with that. But again, remember, tucking the hips. And then the third level, just like on the dip bar, is gonna be a pike. Basically, you're gonna take your toes and try to touch the bar. And if you've done CrossFit, you're familiar with this exercise. So toes to bar, feet together, legs go down, tucking the hips the entire time. Again, we're working the lower abs so we can have a better guard. keep moving forward.